So it's my fourth day fasted now. It's been 86 hours since I've consumed any sort of calories or any sort of liquids besides plain water. Uh, Fourth day. Today feels a bit easier than yesterday actually. Yesterday I noted that I felt sort of heavier and my feet felt heavy, and I felt like I was almost towing something when I was running. I had a headache today. Uh, had a better night's sleep than I did yesterday. Uh, the headache has subsided by about 90%. I can still sort of feel like a bit of an aching sort of headache. The kind you might feel from mild to sort of low dehydration. So it's just a very mild headache. Besides that, I stood on the scale since I started fasting. It's been I lost 2 kilos. I'm sure a good portion of those 2 kilos is probably water weight. Just the last of my glycogen stores being emptied out. The sugar getting burnt and used up from all my muscles and cells, and now it should really be at that stage where you hit the point of ketosis. So you start burning your body fat for fuel. And I might be wrong, and this is just based off things that I've read about other people fasting and advice that I've seen from people who claim to be licensed practitioners, and read their articles, read their certifications. Most people that I've read articles claim to be qualified, but over the internet you can never check. But what I'm getting at is, the facts that I've gathered about fasting is that, you reach this point called ketosis after about 3 days of fasting, 3 days from abstaining from food, and you basically start running off body fat, which is, one of the easier fuel sources for your body to actually break down, and it's a cleaner fuel source than just loading up on high GI and fatty foods and sugars and using that for fuel. Using your body fat, what I'm getting at, is actually better for your body as a form of energy for you to get on with your day than going and drinking fucking a liter of Coke and eating fucking pretzels and donuts and fucking cheesecakes and all sorts of rubbish and just shit. And another thing I want to point out is what I really sort of experienced with myself is when I was eating healthy for the last 8 weeks before going into the fast, and I sort of, before I went into the fast, had a bit of unhealthy food, not a lot, not excessive. I had a few sugary foods and a few sort of sugary yogurts, and I was with my family, so over coffee. Coffee's another thing I've never drank, but over coffee, there's a few biscuits and stuff. So I basically consumed 50, 60 grams of sugar, and I just noted that from those sweets and from that piece of cake that I had and stuff, I started feeling kind of bad the next day. Like, I hadn't even fasted for a full 24 hours after I ate that. That was like my last meal sort of thing. And I started feeling quite worse for wear, and it wasn't even 24 hours into my fast. And I can only associate that with having eaten that type of food, because before, like I said, I was fasting, and I was fasting every single weekend, 48 hours every single week for the last 8 weeks, but eating healthy. And right now, after I ate about 86 hours ago that last sort of unhealthy food, even getting to the point of fasting for 24 hours was like, it was a bit of a struggle. Like, it was hard. Like, I was feeling like I needed that sort of same food again to not feel the way I was feeling. So that's what I really want to point out, and how important your diet is and what you eat. And if you're eating unhealthy food, and by unhealthy food I mean just anything with sugar in it, just if it's got over a gram of sugar, it's already not as good for you as something that wouldn't have sugar in it at all. I mean, there is natural sugars that you'd find in fruits, but that's not that same thing as that refined sugar I'm talking about that you'd find in sweets and in cakes. That white sugar, that shit's poison. And what I really want to get across is that for people that don't eat that and really abstain from it like I did for over 2 months, and then just to get that back into my diet again, and even though 50 grams is not really a significant amount, having abstained from it, it made me feel like rubbish. And what I really want to emphasize for people that want to try and fast is that if you've had a poor diet, I don't recommend that you just get into even a 16-hour fast from a poor diet. The first thing, stick to probably the calories, the same amount of food that you're eating, but switch it over to healthier habits. When you feel like something sugary, something kind of sweet, either cut it out or at least substitute it, and slowly progress to say, if you're eating 2,500 calories a day where your basal metabolic rate is about 2,000, just try and cut it down to that basal metabolic rate. Try and cut something out so your calories are 500. Eventually, when you get better at it, when you cut your calories down to where they should be, then you try and switch your food around. Try and substitute something that wasn't good for you, something that wasn't healthy, and try and switch it around. So then you're still consuming that, standard of calories you should be getting in your day, but you've substituted that unhealthy fucking cake for something more nutritious. You've substituted that white bread for maybe rye bread. You've substituted your white rice for brown rice, or your normal potato for sweet potato. And you get your sugars by consuming fruit rather than just putting 3 fucking teaspoons of sugar into your coffee. And that's another thing. If you drink coffee and tea, I reckon just try and just reduce the amount of sugar you put in it. Maybe eliminate putting the milk in it. Bottom line, just gradually try and switch it up. Try and make healthier choices, but still constantly eat the same. And then eventually start eliminating things altogether. Start lowering your daily caloric intake, and only when you've sort of switched your diet around for the better, got into a better, healthier sort of routine of eating, is when I would recommend you try and fasting. Because if you just go into fasting straight away and you're really looking for something to try and lose weight, but you've been eating like shit, and you've been not only eating like shit, but you've been excessively eating shit. So if you're a girl and you're consuming more than 2,000 calories a day, unless you're an athlete, in my opinion, from me, I know that is way too much. That's way too much. I don't even consume 2,000 calories for the last couple of months a day, and I've managed to gain weight by building muscle from working out daily, twice, up to 3 times daily. And my body fat has also dropped, and that works for me. I'm being 6'5.5" tall and weighing at 104 kilograms right now, and I've lost 15-16 kilograms, and I've been eating little. Some people might disagree, they might say you need to eat more, but I know that this works for me, and I've got people that I've encouraged to do a similar sort of thing, and it's worked for them. So the last thing I want to say is that I feel pretty good. I feel alright today. I feel a lot better than I did yesterday. The headache's gone, that sort of fatigue is sort of faded away, and the hunger itself isn't really as much, it's not really there. I don't feel not so much hunger pains, just that craving to eat something. It's not as strong today. It's not influencing me as much as it was yesterday. So I feel pretty good right now. Exercised, walked 7 kilometers today. Still couldn't help myself. Did a few sets of heaves and dips, and that's something I'm definitely going to have to eliminate over the course of the next couple of days to keep this extended fast going. But today definitely feel better mentally in regards to cravings and dealing with sort of that urge to want to eat something. And just main thing is to remember to drink water when you really feel like eating something. Just scull a good heap of water down, and don't be afraid if you start urinating frequently or needing to use the bathroom. You're just getting those ketones out of your system. You're just getting that fat out of your system. The way you lose body fat is basically through sweat. you even breathe it out, it comes out through your oxygen, through the air that you exhale, and even through waste like urine and your feces, your shit. That's how fat basically gets eliminated from your body. So don't be alarmed if you start needing to use the toilet more frequently. It's probably not the fact that you got prostate problems or something. I need to urinate at least twice a night now, just due to the amount of water I have to drink. And basically, it's telling me that, I'm losing that water weight and I'm starting to really burn that fat for fuel. So that's all for day 4. We'll make another update in 24 hours when we reach day 5 fasted. Cheers.